Welcome in, everyone. Buckle up because tonight we are diving headfirst into this crazy 2024 election.
Yeah, November 4th, election eve. Can you believe it?
It's electric out there. Donald Trump back in the game, going head to head with Kamala Harris.
You're right, I can't remember an election this intense in, well, ever.
It's like the whole country is holding its breath, right?
It's palpable, the tension, and I think a lot of that comes from just how different these two candidates are, not just their policies, but their whole vibe.
Totally. We've been doing a ton of research for this deep dive, and one thing that jumps out is Trump's base. They are rock solid, man.
It's fascinating, right? You'd think after everything, the controversies, the you name it, they'd have wavered.
But it's like the opposite. They're even more fired up now.
And that right there tells you it's deeper than just agreeing with policies.
It's like, is it about him as a person, a symbol of something?
Our sources point to a feeling of disillusionment, a lot of voters who feel ignored by the elites.
Oh, yeah, the swamp he always talks
Mhm.
about.
Exactly. They distrust the media, feel forgotten, and Trump, he's like their champion against all
Oh,
that.
disruptor, the one who flips the table over.
And he is masterful at tapping into that anger, that frustration.
And it's not just everyday folks, right? You've got Elon Musk endorsing him.
Musk, Vivek, Ramaswamy, these are huge names jumping on the Trump train.
Musk especially. I mean, his sway over younger voters, it's insane.
With his tech image being a so-called visionary, it adds a whole other layer to this.
He tweets one thing and boom, the whole conversation shifts. It's wild.
Our research shows that this endorsement from Musk is powerful precisely because it appeals to this generational shift we're seeing.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more about that.
Well, younger voters see Musk as someone who challenges the establishment, right? Doesn't play by the rules, which perfectly aligns with Trump's whole anti-establishment message.
It's like a double whammy then. Trump's own words plus Musk's backing.
Right, and Ramaswamy, he's almost setting himself up as the Trump 2.0.
Oh, yeah, I can see that, tapping into that same style.
Exactly. So even if, down the line, Trump himself isn't around, that style of politics, it's sticking around.
So it's not just the candidates themselves, but these powerful figures around them, too. Wow.
And speaking of powerful figures, we can't forget the force multiplier that is social media itself, especially with Musk in the picture.
Oh, man. Social media this election, it's like a whole other beast.
It really is the battleground for shaping opinion. And Musk's tweets, well,
They can reach millions in a second. It's kind of scary, right?
the power of a single tweet to shape the narrative is remarkable, and we've seen that play out a lot this election cycle.
So we've got Trump's base, Musk shaking things up online, this whole vibe of us versus them. Where does that leave Kamala Harris in all this?
She's definitely facing a challenge, that's for sure.
I mean, she's super experienced, knows policy inside and out.
True, but there's this sense that she's struggling to match the energy, the momentum of the Trump campaign.
It's like he's speaking to the gut and she's speaking to the head.
That's a good way to put it. Trump is tapping into emotions, anxieties, while Harris is focusing on reason, policy details.
Maybe that approach just isn't resonating with voters who are looking for more, I don't know, visceral change.
Right. But she's got a big gun in her corner, Obama.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget Obama, his endorsement. That's huge, right?
Absolutely, especially for African-American voters, younger voters. He's still a symbol of hope, progress, all that.
And his speech where he kind of sort of poked fun at Trump's businesses, brilliant.
Masterful use of humor to land a political point.
I mean, Obama, he just connects with people. There's this charisma.
For sure. And his ability to connect with audiences on an emotional level, that's something Harris could really learn from.
It almost makes you wonder, can she tap into some of that Obama magic?
Possibly. But we have to remember, Obama's appeal was unique. His story, his vision, it really resonated.
So Trump's base, Musk shaking things up online, Obama lending his weight, and Harris trying to find her footing.
This election is shaping up to be one for the history books, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, and we're just getting started. Stick around because there's so much more to unpack. We're back, and man, this election, it just feels so much bigger than just politics.
Right. It's like two different versions of America head to head.
Like we said before, it's not just about policy, it's about culture, about what it means to be American.
You've hit the nail on the head there. This election is about competing visions for the future of this country.
And you see it so clearly in how they're campaigning. Like, Trump's rallies, they're like rock concerts.
Those rallies, they're more than just events. They're like experiences.
All that energy, the chance, the feeling of being part of something bigger.
Exactly. It provides a sense of community, especially for those who feel like their voices aren't being heard.
Like they're part of a movement, a rebellion against the establishment, the swamp, as he calls it.
And for those who feel left behind, ignored by the system, it's powerful.
But I gotta say, sometimes that rhetoric, it gets pretty intense, you know?
It can be divisive, definitely drawing a sharp line between us and them.
And that's the thing. It's energizing for some, but for others, it pushes them away.
Absolutely, it contributes to this polarization we're seeing. Instead of bridging the gap, it widens it.
Well, Harris, she's taking a much more traditional approach, right?
Yeah, she's focusing on policy, experience, appealing to reason.
But is that enough in this climate? I mean, it feels like it lacks that raw emotional punch.
Right, she's trying to be the steady hand, the voice of reason, in contrast to all the noise.
The competent leader, someone who can bring stability.
But in this media landscape, with everyone vying for attention, it's tough to cut through.
And speaking of shaking things up, we have to talk about Musk's endorsement. I mean, wow.
That was a game changer, no doubt about it.
It legitimizes Trump in a way, especially for those who see Musk as this iconoclast, the future of tech.
Exactly. It's like a stamp of approval from the tech world, which holds a lot of sway these days.
Especially with younger voters, right? They're less interested in the old political ways.
Musk's reach, his influence, it's massive, especially online.
One tweet from him can have more impact than a whole campaign ad.
It's the power of influencers in the digital age, for better or for worse.
And then you've got Obama on the other side. His speech the other day, man, that was something.
Classic Obama, right. He knows how to connect, how to use humor, intelligence, all of it.
He gently roasted Trump's businesses, but it was so subtle, so effective.
He's still got it, that ability to make you laugh and think at the same time.
And that connection with the audience, that's something Harris could learn from.
It's hard to replicate that, though. Obama had a unique ability to create a shared sense of hope.
So we've got Trump, Musk, Obama, all these powerful figures pulling the strings, so to speak.
And at the center of it all, the American people trying to decide where we go from here.
It feels like a turning point, doesn't it? A choice between two very different paths.
Absolutely. Do we choose fear and division or hope and unity?
Big questions, and tomorrow the answers start to come in.
It's going to be a long night and an even longer morning after, that's for sure.
But hey, that's what makes it exciting, right? This is history in the making.
It is, and we're here to witness it, to try and make sense of it all.
Exactly. And there's still so much more to talk about, so let's take a quick break and then dive back in. We are back. And man, what a ride this deep dive has been.
It really has, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Trump, Musk, Obama, social media frenzy, it's all been a bit of a whirlwind.
We've gone from those electric Trump rallies to Obama's subtle jabs, trying to unpack this whole cultural clash that's happening.
Exactly. We've looked at the personalities, the policies, but also what's beneath the surface, the anxieties, the hopes, all of it.
So as we stand here, just hours away from this historic vote, let's try and piece it all together. What have we learned?
Well, we started with Trump, right? The master showman, back for round two.
Tapping into that deep frustration, that feeling of being left behind. It's potent stuff.
And his rallies, those are more than just political events. They're cultural moments.
A sense of belonging, of shared grievance. It's powerful. You can't deny that.
Then you've got Musk, the wild card, shaking things up with his endorsement, his tweets reaching millions.
It's like he gave Trump the tech world seal of approval, and that matters, especially for younger voters.
Musk's influence, especially in this online world, it's undeniable. He can shift the narrative with a single post.
And then there's Obama, lending his weight to Harris, reminding everyone of his charisma, his ability to connect.
That speech he gave, subtly mocking Trump's businesses, it was brilliant. A reminder of what a skilled communicator he is.
And Harris, well, she's facing an uphill battle, trying to navigate this landscape that's been completely transformed by social media, by this intense polarization.
She's got the experience, the policy chops, but can she connect with voters on that deeper level, that emotional level?
It feels like this election is about more than just who sits in the Oval Office. It's about what kind of country we want to be.
You're right. It's about our identity, our values. Do we choose fear and division or hope and unity?
It's a lot to think about. And tomorrow, the American people get to decide.
Every vote matters. Every voice counts. That's what makes this whole process so incredible, so vital.
So to everyone listening, as you head to the polls tomorrow, remember, this is your chance to shape the future.
Engage thoughtfully, reflect on what matters most to you, and make your voice heard.
This deep dive, it's been a journey exploring the forces at play, the personalities, the hopes, the fears.
It's been a reminder that even in these divided times, we still have the power to come together to shape our own destiny.
Thank you for joining us on this wild ride, this exploration of the 2024 election. We'll see you on the other side.